Welcome back to Honkai Reviews. Today we are going to be doing 3 chapters. We are going to be reviewing 16, 17, and 18. So without further ado, let's get started. If you remember what happened at the end of chapter 15, is that Kiana said she wanted to go to Nagazora. She's not sure why, but she wants to go to Nagazora, which is the first place that Mei and Kiana met. If you want to see the very first moments that Kiana and Mei met, might I suggest the manga, specifically the one I'm showing on the screen now. That's not their first encounter, but it's a pretty good base for their relationship. Anyway, in this chapter, we begin playing as Mei. One of the side characters in this chapter is Tesla, who we haven't seen for a hot minute. Hoyoverse finally decided that she's a important character again. I don't know what happened to her. I don't remember much of this chapter, since this chapter is heavily shadowed by chapter 17, because 17 is amazing, but I will try to remember all I can. Mei and Tesla are trying to find Kiana via a Honkai tracker or a Honkai reactor. I forget exactly what they have, but it's a Honkai tracker, I think. Mei and Tesla find this kid's toy on the ground, and they pick it up wondering who it's from. Lo and behold, it's from this kid named Sora. Sora is a very nice kid who hides out with her friends at this place called The Roost, and they all hide out from the Honkai outbreaks. Sora takes us to The Roost, and we meet Sora's caretaker, and lo and behold, what do you know, it's Raiden. Mei asks how she can do all these experiments knowing full well she has children she needs to take care of, and Raiden says what they don't know can't hurt them, which is true, but it's only going to make them hurt even more when they eventually find out about the experiments, Raven. So fudge you. Now Raven immediately went to attack Mei, but since Sora took a liking to Mei at first sight, Sora's like, no, don't attack her, don't attack her. And so Raven's like, okay, I won't attack her. But then she attacked Mei anyways when she got further away from Sora and Sora was out of view, which is, great. The chapter ends with Mei finding Kiana, but also Tesla giving Mei some dire news. Apparently, Kiana has only 3 months left to live. That was the end of chapter 16. Yes, you heard me correctly. Chapter 16 ends with Mei finding out that Kiana only has 2 months left to live. Chapter 17 is a very important chapter for the story. So, of course, once Kiana wakes up from the coma, because she was in a coma when Mei found Kiana wakes up from it, and of course she acts all happy and dandy, like everything's fine, because the Kathlana way is hiding your pain, right? Kiana wants to go to Chiba Academy, which is the academy where they first met. Mei agrees reluctantly, because Mei knows Kiana should stay in bed, but she reluctantly agrees. And Kiana acts fine, but you can clearly tell she's in pain, like she's sick. She's got 2 months left to live. The reason for that, by the way, is because she has 3 Hersher cores in her, which is way too much Honkai power for the body to handle. Anyways, before they get to Chiba Academy, Kiana gets sick again until they have to rush back to the base where they have a hospital. I'm sorry if this review slash summary is like all over the place, guys. I just remembered, I remember these chapters a lot less than I thought. I remember them a lot less than I thought. I remember chapter 15 more than these two chapters combined. Anyway, Raven gives Mei a absolutely stupid proposition that Mei agrees to. I guess it's out of love for Kiana. Raven gives Mei the option to save Kiana. All she has to do is join the World Serpent, which Mei took immediately because she was like, I'm not letting Kiana die. Mei then meets the leader of the World Serpent himself, Kevin. And Kevin's thought process on this is that if Mei awakens her share of thunder powers again, like she did 3 years ago in Nagazora, then one of the Hershey cores from Kiana will be snuffed out and put inside of Mei instead of Kiana. So Kiana will have 2 Hershey cores instead of 3. Mei immediately agrees because she'll do anything for Kiana. Mei activated her share of thunder powers and ceased to become Raiden Mei. I'll talk more about that after I talk about this, because I want to talk about Kevin for a second. When Mei awakens her share of thunder powers, Kevin gets a flashback, and it's a flashback of Kevin and Mei sitting on a bench talking about the Honkai and what they're gonna do about the Honkai. But Mei is not normal Mei. This is Dr. Mei. Dr. Mei is a pretty important character, but we won't learn more about her until way later down the line, so let's not worry about her for now. But still an important mention that this is the first time that she's brought up in the story. Alright, now back to what I was saying before about Mei Raiden ceasing to be Mei Raiden. The Hershey of Thunder literally says so in the chapter that she will no longer be Mei Raiden. And honestly, I take that to mean that Mei Raiden died in this chapter, okay? I don't care what you say. I cannot view the Mei in chapter 18 onwards as the Mei we know and love. Nope, that is not Mei. That is the Hershey of Thunder. Mei dies in this chapter. You may disagree with my view on it, but that's my point, okay? Mei really pissed me off this chapter. Look, I get she did it for love, and that's really freaking sweet, especially since this was the chapter that the quote, "If saving you is a sin, I'll gladly become a sinner" line is from, which is absolutely beautiful. But still, my opinion still stands. Mei Raiden may have done what's best for the both of them, but she did it in a really crappy way that made me really hate her. Like, oh my gosh, was she kind of annoying this chapter. It didn't help that there was a massive bug at the end of the chapter that prevented me from even completing it. I had to go to a freaking YouTube video because the bug was literally game breaking. That's why it shows no stars for 17-12. Because I never beat it. Because of the stupid bug. And because the stupid bug was very frustrating, wasted 40 minutes of my time, I watched Lament of the Fallen on a YouTube video because luckily they have it on YouTube. And I was pretty salty at that point, so I reacted to it pretty negatively. Plus, the game audio is too loud, it drowns out my voice, so I can't upload the reaction to Lament of the Fallen anyway, sorry. But yeah, Mei pissed me off this chapter. Anyways, let's not talk about the story anymore, let's talk about the gameplay, because there is a surprising variety of gameplay here. If it wasn't for that bug that pissed me off, this would have been my favorite chapter up to this point, because the gameplay here is unexpectedly really fun and super solid. The game introduces boss battles with actual phases, because up to this point in the chapters, nothing was really a boss fight. Okay, everything was beaten pretty easily, but now there's bosses with actual phases. This review's getting long, so I have to continue quickly to the start of Here Lies Bellflower arc, which starts with chapter 18, which, to be honest, pretty boring, pretty meh chapter in my opinion. Not a lot happens, but I will summarize the stuff that does happen. We play as Mei for the entirety of this chapter, which is one part why I didn't like it, because at this point I was still pissed at her. But nonetheless, we join Raven and we meet a new world serpent recruit titled Owl. Owl, Mei, and Raven are on a task to kill the 5th Herrscher, because the 5th Herrscher is finally here. Yes, Wendy, the 4th Herrscher, was in chapter 3, and now finally the 5th Herrscher is in chapter 18. It took a while, but we finally got there. The 5th Herrscher is called the Herrscher of Ice, and as you can tell from the title, from her title, she spawns ice everywhere and destroys everything in her path. Turns out though, her actual name is Anna, and she actually has a really sad backstory. Surprise, surprise. I bet no one was. This is Honkai after all. Long story short, Owl ends up betraying Mei and Raven, shooting Mei and Raven down, and trying to get Anna out of this mess, because Owl apparently knows Anna, and it's breaking his heart to see her become the Herrscher of Ice and become this grief-stricken. The chapter ends with him dragging her along by her feet and wondering what caused her to become so grief-stricken. Chapter 19, Into the Earth Does the Water Flow, right? That's the name? Yes, that is the name. This chapter is amazing. Therefore, I will not do a review of it and do an actual full playthrough of it. Well, I already have done a full playthrough of it, but you know, upload my full playthrough of it, so look forward to that. This review's getting very long, so I'm going to have to cut my intro short, so bye.